Let's talk about resentment. It's a pretty strong word, but I do notice that when people are caregiving or looking after an older parent, a parent that needs help around going to appointments, maybe around their food, around their accommodation, around how they're living, and their independence isn't what it used to be. Depending on the situation as to how the caregiver comes to be that main person, it can lead to a lot of resentment and it can lead to a lot of bitterness. And often the bitterness comes in because that person is in that position through lacking choice. Maybe siblings aren't able to help, they live too far away, or perhaps they are not willing to help. And I mean, we all know people that have been in that position. So if the caregiver becomes the caregiver, not through choice, but because of them being the only one available, that can lead to resentment or bitterness. Often they might have dependent children at home, so they might still be looking after young ones at home. They might, in the relationship, trying to keep the relationship going, and then the added stress of looking after a parent or parents that are unable to take care of themselves anymore. And that, they might have a full-time job on top of that. So that can become a very difficult time indeed. So there is the situation where the children are needing to go to their sports and to their schools and the events that are happening because of what's happening at school, needing just simple things like buying groceries and things become a big effort because you've got two households that you're thinking of. Medical appointments, things can put pressure on the carer. And I have seen the resentment myself in clients that I've worked with, and also a bit closer to home, where if a person decides that they're doing this because that's the thing you do, because you've always been brought up to think that you're the good person, you're the good girl, so this is what is expected of you, that in itself can become an added burden. And depending on the relationship with the carer, of course, if the person you're caring for has not been, if the relationship has not been a successful one anyway, and then you're thrown into the position of having to look after somebody, that's going to put a big strain on both sides. I mean, the person who's being cared for will know that you're there because you feel that you have to be, and you yourself, your relationship with yourself, you become very bitter about, oh, I didn't choose this, my own life is suffering. So you're the kind one, you become the carer, and it affects the relationship with your immediate family as well. And it's nobody's fault, it's just the way it can be. If you're feeling like your siblings aren't helping out, and if you're doing all the most of the caring day by day, then all these other emotions can enter into the bargain as well. Create a sense of overwhelm. So what do I do next? How long do I go? How long is this going to go on for? And there's not necessarily an end date. Not that you're wanting anything horrible to happen, but it's just the way it is. You can't help but but have those thoughts. And so who takes care of the carer? I see a lot of people saying, well, there's not time for me. How can I possibly, nobody else is helping me do anything here. I'm the only person doing this. There's not paid care available to us because of finance, or nobody else is putting their hand up. And so often the carer can be in a situation where they think they can't do anything for themselves because they have to do this full-time caring. And really that's not doing you any favours. If you can't look after yourself, eventually you become so resentful, maybe even becoming sick yourself. You're no good to your family, you're no good to your kids, and you're no good to the person you're caring for if you're not caring about yourself.